Hello everyone, welcome to set 3, Cool Height versus SKT1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so it's do or die for SKT1, and I really think that having sent out Fantasy to represent them in set 3, I really think they're going to be able to do. It is a TVT, and it is against Leta. And Leta, by the way, the red Terran here, 12 o'clock, teal Terran at the bottom left is Fantasy, my man. And it's going to be on Moonglaive. Really strange map for TVT. I actually really like it, though. I like the 3-player maps for TVT just because you don't want the map to be completely divided in half. I mean, it is fun to watch. It's like a massive, just epic battle of chess, pretty much. That's the way I look at it anyways. And but the 3-player maps, you can always tell who's in the lead and who's not. But anyways, Leta, the master of wraiths, the paper airplane god, the red baron of StarCraft, if you will, coming out here representing Cool Height Sparkyz, and he's going to be completely comfortable coming into this match. I don't think that Fantasy is going to be uncomfortable just because, I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen any emotion come out of that guy. You see creativity come from him, which is strange because he's always got this just gorilla look on his face, like, oog, ag, fantasy build, vulture against Zerg, and he just comes out and he manhandles with his creativity. But, yeah, here comes Leta with a really early SCV. Ooh, might we be seeing some cheese? No, there's a supply depot going down. It is going to be an... Oh, no, he's going to set out his barracks at a proxy position just so he can get off that early scout. That's all he's doing here. Yeah, he is going to set it in the middle of the map. Come on, Leta. Oh, he's checking for cheese. Wow, he actually expected Fantasy to cheese. Never mind then. He is going to put the barracks in his base. And it looks like both players actually delaying on their barracks here. They might actually both be going for a 14cc, which I'm not sure I've ever seen. No, there's the barracks and the gas going up. And it's going to be a 14cc for Leta. Ooh, tricky. He actually might have the build order advantage here just because I don't think Fantasy's going to be scouting anytime soon. So yeah, here comes that build order advantage. And I don't actually know why Terran players don't either, like, I mean, they could cheese just to throw off their opponents more often. I mean, Leta there did scout for cheese, but I don't know. Just be more aggressive. Go for 2-fact pushes more often. Things like that. It's just to stop your opponent from going for this 14cc, because it is actually, in my opinion, the most effective build in Pro League in Terran versus Terran these days. I see 14cc go up all the time, and it's not like a 14 Nexus Terran versus Protoss where the Nexus just gets rushed and taken down more than half the time. It just stays up, and you usually just don't have anything to do other than sit back and take the economic hit. So I think that's what Fantasy is actually going to do here as well. He does have 1 SCV on gas, so yeah, definitely that's what he's looking to do here, is take the economic hit. He hasn't even sent it, well, I mean, he hasn't scouted this out yet, obviously, but excuse me, he's going to have to. I mean, he's got to scout sometime soon, but he's going to see it. He's going to know that he's behind, and he's not going to be able to do anything about it. But, yeah, that's my opinion anyways. Terrans should switch back and start going for 2-fact pushes. I know it's not that necessarily that effective of a build, but neither is cheese, and people do it anyways just to throw their opponents off. So, might as well do it. Go in for the micro battle rather than take these economic hits. And a factory now going up, and a command center actually going up in the actual natural position there. So Fantasy just straight up 100% behind a step, and going for a starport here as well. We're gonna have to see if he throws down a second starport. He is gonna build at least 1 wraith, and that SCV scout might get in there. No, a vulture is out for Leta, or for Fantasy. Oh, but he does take it down. So what Leta's gonna see there, nothing too special. The only thing he's gonna get from that is the fact that that Fantasy doesn't have a machine shop down yet, and there is Fantasy getting the bad news, recognizing that he is behind. So I don't know, he's going to have to throw on some kind of aggression here, and unfortunately he has gone for that starport, and Leta's just going to have the economy to just throw up a turret here or there. He could probably throw his engineering bay down right about now. He is going, though, for a starport of his own. Like I said, the Red Baron here of Terran versus Terran, and Terran versus Zerg, actually. Throwing down a starport, I wouldn't put it past Leta to probably throw down a second one as well. The control tower going up for Fantasy here as well, so he's probably going to be going for some kind of drop tech rather than Wraith. Maybe, though. I don't know. He could be going for Cloak Wraith, but off of one starport, I don't think that is what he's going to be doing here. I want to see Leta go for, actually, some kind of a Wraith build versus Protoss, because I've attempted it in my D- days. I've attempted going for it, but that's probably why I was D-. I don't know. I mean, it's so easy to defend against, obviously, but I just want to see it happen one time. That's all I want. You'd have to. I think you just have to hide it really well. I think that's about it. But anyways, here's Leta throwing up putting up a Wraith here. Obviously, it's Leta. He's not going to go for early drop tech. If he's got a starport, he's going to say to himself, I might as well just build one Wraith. I mean, I might as well. I got the starport, so just going to put out one. One itsy-bitsy Wraith. What harm could that do? And a Wraith also out for Fantasy. He's getting cloaking tech as well, so he's... God, I actually do hate when Terrans do this. When they get cloaking tech off of one starport, it's really not worth it. You're not going to pick off as many units as you need to, even if your opponent doesn't have the detection to counter this, you're not going to get as many Wraiths out as you need to do that much damage with Cloaked Wraiths. And getting the first shot off there is Fantasy. And Fantasy getting 3 shots off there, actually, on that Wraith before Leta got any shots off of his own. So Fantasy's just gonna have a straight up one Wraith in the air versus no Wraiths for Leta here. Did not expect that from Leta. Really expected Leta to come out ahead on that one, even against the Wraith and the Marine shooting from below. I expected Leta to at least go on par here, losing one Wraith for one Wraith against Fantasy here. I mean, Fantasy does have obviously very good Wraith micro as well. And there's cloaking coming up for Fantasy. So Fantasy going to start picking away at these SCVs that are building the armory here. So actually, Fantasy might actually come back in this game. He is going to delay this armory quite a bit here, delay the ability for Leta to fend this off. Leta is getting comsat stations, however, so I think at this point in time, seeing that the comsat stations are going down, I would probably start focus firing down those Marines, because there are 4 Marines which can take out 2 raids. So I probably would have started shooting at those Marines, at least doing some damage. And we're going to have to see a scan go off here. Does a scan go off? No, and cloaking actually energy running out on that one Wraith for Fantasy here, and Fantasy just microing that one Wraith. God, you gotta love the micro of these players these days. And actually back in the day as well, the micro was just so phenomenal. I actually think that the micro back in the day was probably better than it is these days. But regardless, we do see a lot of kills actually coming in here for Fantasy, so I'm pretty excited to see that Fantasy is finding a way back into this game, having taken that economic hit. However, Goliath now in the field, is he going to get one shot off here? No. Those rockets are just so devastating. It's like throwing a pebble at a paper airplane, quite literally a paper airplane. The paper airplane's just going to smash to the ground, and that's what it's like. Goliath shooting down those Wraiths there, and Wraiths actually coming back around here, probably going to start picking away at those tanks that are pushing up in the field here. Fantasy hasn't seen the tanks for Leta, nor has Leta seen the tanks for Fantasy. I think, though, that they can just feel the tension in the middle of the field, and they're just not sure why they're not able to use their APM to push those tanks forward, and it is just because there are tanks for the opponent on the opposite side of things. And it looks like, though, these Wraiths just flying around here, they're going to spot out the forces of Leta, and it looks like Fantasy's going to have to reposition these tanks. Sieging up here. Let's see how many shots he can get off. Free shots, free shots. Is he going to get any free shots off here? No. And actually, Leta is going to be forced to just maneuver those troops back around here. And Fantasy looking to take an early line lead here, just drawing those lines, setting himself up for expansions later on in the game. And I actually think that Fantasy should probably expand very quickly. Both of these players... Actually, rather, neither of these players have gone for any kind of vulture harass, vulture mines out in the field, anywhere like that. And a dropship also now out for Fantasy, so Fantasy looking to probably go for a drop. And as I say it, there are the vultures for Fantasy, and there are the mines. And one mine almost going off there. Second mine, though, focus firing down these mines really well there. Not sure if that was just micro or just the fact that the Terran ball is all ranged units and they can just focus fire down those mines without any micro whatsoever. And Fantasy looking to loop around here, forgetting that there was a bunker on the front door, unfortunately, and losing his third vulture of the pack of 4 that he had initially. And yeah, not looking too good there for Fantasy, losing those vultures. However, it looks like they're setting themselves up to go into the late game here. And Fantasy is taking that 6 o'clock position. He's probably going to be able to take that 5 o'clock position as well very quickly, which I don't doubt. I mean, I've seen Fantasy play a lot lately, and he has gone for very quick bases all over the place. And is that mine going to go off? Mine does not go off. Actually, that second mine does go off, not actually killing that tank. And Fantasy not going to give up on this, going to persist, going to take a couple shots, pick off that tank. Thank you very much. I'll take that tank down, and Charon boost is now up for Leta as well, so he's going to be able to focus fire any drop ships, any raids that come in anytime soon or in the late game. So really nice upgrade to have, by the way. Terran versus Terran, for those of you who don't know, that is actually one of the most important upgrades. I think it's actually more important than Vulture Speed and Mines. Mines are really just good for delaying, just kind of testing your opponent's ability to multitask. That's personally what I see